Welcome to the Banana Breakdown Podcast, your inside look at all things banana ball through player interviews and game breakdowns. We're your hosts. I'm Brandon, and I like to go bananas.
I'm Sammy. I'm the life of the party. And as always, go party animals.
Got a glove and a dream.
What a play by that kid! Oh, it's Brandon! No way! From the Banana Ball Breakdown Podcast. He and his co-host Sammy have been podcasting since the first game of the 2025 World Tour. He catches a foul ball for an out in the final game. Poetic.
Yeah, you guys are outstanding. You guys are outstanding.
And what a game. The Texas Tailgaters take it home and are moving on to the Banana Ball Open championship game against the Bananas.
Things got really interesting there in the ninth inning, but the Tailgaters were able to pull it off, and yeah, we've got our championship set.
Yeah, so the next two nights are going to be Tailgaters versus Bananas. Absolute chaos with the Banana Ball Open. Super excited to see how it goes down, and the winner will get a playoff spot. But today, we're going to be breaking down this game from tonight and the impressive showing by the Tailgaters as well as the Firefighters. A very close finish that came down to the trick plays, that came down to like a couple of different things there. So we're going to be breaking it all down. But for everyone who's live right now in the chat, leave some comments on any topics from the game that you want us to discuss, any questions you have, and we'll get to as many as we can on this live stream.
Yeah, we also want to hear your predictions for the championship. Who do you think is going to win, the Bananas or the Tailgaters? So just let us know, and we'll talk about it all.
Yeah, so we'll get into like specific topics as we go on. But first, initial thoughts from the game tonight. Sammy, what are your thoughts after that ninth inning?
Well, the ninth inning was crazy. Miller was able to hold off a scary run by the Firefighters. But really, the biggest thing that stood out to me was that the equalizer point was the difference. And so the Tailgaters were able to win the equalizer point. They won the trick play battle 11-10, and or 12-11, I mean, and they got it in the eighth inning. They were able to get a double trick play very quickly in the eighth inning to secure that equalizer point to go up 4-2 going into the ninth. The Firefighters were able to score one run, but that wasn't enough. They needed two, and so that equalizer point ended up being the real difference there, and we would be watching showdowns right now if the Tailgaters were not able to get that equalizer point.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big topic to discuss tonight, was that trick play battle back and forth the whole game. This was like the epitome of what the equalizer point is supposed to do to like increase those trick plays, because the Firefighters would go ahead and then the Tailgaters would switch it the other way. And then it was just for a couple innings there back and forth the whole way. And then the Tailgaters had to clinch it in the bottom of the eighth inning, which was so awesome to see.
Yeah, I loved the trick play battle. It made it very entertaining. There were some pretty exciting trick plays. You know, the one immediately that I think everyone thinks of was that crazy sunshine to Justice double trick play where Sunshine does between the legs, then Justice is able to hop up and catch it in between his legs and land on the bag just in time, and so to get a double trick play. And when you only win the trick play battle by one, all of those double trick plays are absolutely crucial.
Yeah, and so we have a couple of the plays ready, including that one that we'll go over throughout this night. But yeah, the trick plays were the story tonight, as well as the pitching. Looking at it, I'm going to pull up the stats here, which again, shout out to bananaball.com/stats. They do a great job where you can actually see the game breakdown immediately as the game is going on. So it's updated throughout the game. So these were the final numbers for the Firefighters pitchers. And as you can see here, the Firefighters pitchers had 11 total strikeouts, but they also induced 5 ball four sprints. So the pitching really mattered tonight. And then on the Tailgater side, they had 8 strikeouts, only induced 3 ball four sprints. So overall, a lot of ball four sprints, a lot of strikeouts, and a lot of trick plays. Those were the 3 main storylines of the night tonight.
Yeah, it felt a little slow at the beginning because there were so many strikeouts and ball four sprints to start. And it's actually crazy to look back on it. I think it was 3-2 or something, like in the 4th inning, like barely any trick plays because there just wasn't really any opportunities for it. And then to get up to how many we had, 12-11, was pretty crazy as the game went on.
Yeah, and shout out on the firefighter side, Caden Peanut Green had 6 trick plays tonight, which was way more than anyone else out on the field. So he's been doing a phenomenal job as leading the firefighters in the trick play department for the season. Again, these stats from tonight do not count towards the overall leaderboards for the season, but they are still there in a separate section on the Banana Ball website. So super exciting to see. And yeah, I think those trick plays were a big part of tonight. But I guess, do we want to jump into thoughts on Tailgaters versus Bananas and that side of things?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so we've got our Banana Ball Open Championship set, Texas Tailgaters versus Savannah Bananas. Winner gets a playoff spot, a guaranteed playoff spot. And yeah, what are your initial thoughts, Brandon?
Yeah, I think that the really exciting thing here, the first thing I see is that the Tailgaters and Bananas are both going to have one game as the home team. I think that's very crucial to how Banana Ball is played. It's a very different game if you're the home team versus the away team. And so I think it's very exciting to have that opportunity. The Bananas being the home team for the first game, which we found out in that first Banana Ball Championship Tour Championship last year. The first game is so crucial because if the Bananas, the last time the Bananas lost against the Firefighters in that first game, and then they were backs against the wall, they had to grind to win the second game, went showdowns, and then they lost to the Firefighters. So if you win that first game, you're setting your team up for success, putting them in the best place so that you then, if you can win the game, great, stress is off. But if you somehow have an error, can't pull it off, you still have that additional safety net of the showdowns, which I really like.
Yeah, definitely. That's crucial in a 2-game series and then showdowns at the end. That winning that first game, guarantees that you at least have one last shot with showdowns, and anyone can win in showdowns. And well, honestly, if the Savannah Bananas go to showdowns, I think they're going to win because you've got Hosley there that is just been outstanding and unstoppable this season, and so I think that really benefits them. But the showdowns, crazy things happen, and so anyone can win it. I mean, the Bananas just beat the Tailgaters in showdowns, and Hosley just played amazing last week.
Yeah, and they won both games against the Texas Tailgaters so far, and then they also have, as people mentioned, this is the first one that the Texas Tailgaters and Bananas will not be in a football stadium, which is kind of funny. Which actually they did play that first opening weekend, so they played 3 times. So the Bananas are 3-0 against the Tailgaters this season. So they've got an impressive record already against the Tailgaters. So we'll see. I think that the Tailgaters have a shot. They've been playing extremely well this year, but they've just got to find that crack in the armor for the Bananas. Bananas being 10-1 right now for the season is absolutely insane. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with the Bananas. I've been thinking about it all day, and it just feels like they have no weaknesses right now, and I don't know what you do.
Yeah, I think that as thank you, Korea Soul says, DR is a small crack in the armor unless he's back.
That's true.
Yes. So we had prepared these. They said on the stats in the game yesterday that with DR Meadows starting at number 1 in the lineup, the Bananas won 66% of the games that he started number 1. And when he was not the number 1 starter, the Bananas only won 50% of the games. So there's a clear distinction where if DR Meadows is in the lineup in that number 1 spot, the Bananas play a lot better. So that definitely could be a piece there. But again, like you've been mentioning, it's not just DR Meadows. He's been playing phenomenal, but Danny Hosley has been on an absolute tear on the pitching mound. Jacob Bazela on the pitcher's mound.
Coach Rack is back.
KJ's having an MVP season.
Yeah.
Dan Oberst with some awesome walk-ups. Reese Alexiades leading the league with walk-ups. Like, there's so many different things that the Bananas have going for them. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But JM Powers asks, how long is DR out for? We have no idea. Gary says that they stated on the broadcast at least a week. So we'll see exactly how long it is. But most likely he will not be in there this weekend, which is a bit unfortunate for the Banana Ball Open, but hope that he can heal fast and get back to the Bananas soon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, am I supposed to hope? Yes, we hope for everyone to be healthy because honestly, that's what makes the game so fun is when everyone is at full strength, and it's been pretty disappointing to see so many players injured so far this season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's given some other guys some opportunities, which has been cool, but you always want the best of the best playing in that. You never want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so we've got some fun moments from the game that we're going to talk about. Christian Davis, his performance on the mound, winning Showman of the Night for what he did. But first, I think we need to talk about something that happened on the broadcast last night.
I'll own it.
Okay, go for it.
I just want to say that I don't know ball. We had an argument on here last night, and for those of you that remember, we were talking about the double play, the opportunity for the Clowns, where most of us agreed that it probably should have been an interference call with Alexiadis going into Lede, and the double play opportunity didn't happen. It got messed up, but our buddy Reese was watching last night, and he wanted to give his take on it, and so I wanted to read what he said, and just gonna throw this out here. I'm pretty sure Jonathan Huntley was the most correct out of everyone in the chat. So if anyone knows ball, it's him. And just a shout out again to his fantasy banana ball stuff. He's doing a lot of good work. But I think he was totally right, pointing out that Reese was stealing at this time. So Reese wanted to he said that he drank some truth serum, because if you guys remember that, I said if Reese drank some truth serum, I bet he would say that it was an intentional thing, but he says it wasn't. So he says, some insight for clarification. So he said, I just drank some truth serum. I was stealing on the pitch, saw a ground ball behind me as I peeked in that I honestly thought was going through the hole. So I was going to third on the play, and when I looked up, Lede was right there. I don't know the rules, but he blocked me from going to third, which was my intention. So he was heading to third. He was rounding third, and so he thought that the ball got through there. And so Jonathan Huntley was the most correct. He didn't see where the ball was, and so he was rounding third. So there you go.
Yeah, so that was just an awesome moment where Reese reached out to us afterwards. He's been on the podcast a couple times and just kind of let us know exactly what happened. That was a fun conversation last night as we were trying to figure out what happened, back and forth between me and Sammy and all the viewers in the chat. And so just really nice to have, okay, we have the final answer straight from.
It totally makes sense when I've watched it again. I was just trying to make things interesting. And to be clear, I wasn't calling anyone like cheating in any way. It's just part of the game. It's like calling anyway, it's in the past, but it was a fun conversation.
Yeah, so just wanted to kind of bring that back up with his. That was a fun Instagram DM to receive today as we were going around our day. And Korea Soul says, Reese is one of the most kind and enthusiastic bananas I've met. I knew it. Yeah, that was super fun to receive that chat. Because yeah, there definitely was an interesting moment last night, and I was excited to see, as Jonathan Huntley said, it looked like he was stealing, and so turns out that was the case. So.
It probably still should have been interference, but it is what it is. I mean, but though when you think about it, as he's rounding third, if that's exactly what he's doing, trying to round third, he has the right to the base path. So. Yeah, I think that's probably what was the conversation, that when the officials go together and they're talking it out, that's probably what they're discussing, is he's starting to round third. Probably, this is why I am not a player, I'm not a coach, and I'm definitely not an official, because I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, so our job here is to speculate and to make our best judgment based on it, and to talk with you guys. So we appreciate you guys being here and letting us talk through some of this. But yeah, so let's go on to the Texas Tailgaters Firefighters game for tonight. So I want to bring up the Showman of the Night statistics for Christian Davis, because this was just an absolutely incredible performance that he pulled off. So tonight he pitched over 5 innings. He got 5 strikeouts, he let 3 points earned that he earned for the Texas Tailgaters was the winning pitcher. And then they also said on the broadcast, Brett was saying that he induced 10 trick play outs. So he puts a lot of balls in play to allow a lot of trick plays behind him by Sunshine Looters, Jordan Hussein, and the rest of the team. And so just really impressive what he was able to do on the mound tonight. One showman of the night. So congratulations, Christian Davis, on that, as well as to the rest of the Tailgaters team on what you guys pulled off. As you see, it was also an impressive performance by the Firefighters with out hitting the Texas Tailgaters with 10 hits. And then they were right there with the trick plays. That battle back and forth was really, really fun to watch, but just a really good game overall.
Yeah, and we got to get Christian Davis on the podcast. He's awesome. He's been playing amazing this season.
Was an all-star last season.
Yeah, just an all-around great performance tonight. One thing that I thought was really important with the trick play race, obviously, the Tailgaters won the equalizer point, so it came into play. It was huge. Christian Davis, he gets a lot of batters to make contact. Brett Sanchez is the exact same way. And so to have those guys out there tonight was crucial in order to up the trick play opportunities, because it's kind of an interesting thing. Like if you have too many strikeouts, that actually can hurt you in the equalizer point situation. So they're obviously important and you want them, but you also want the ball to get in play.
Yeah, for sure. And that's been super cool to watch. But the fun part about this is, guys, with the Texas Tailgaters, they had Christian Davis, Brett Sanchez on the mound tonight, and as well as Reese Miller closing it off. They did not use Chris Clark. Chris Clark is one of the top pitchers. If you've seen the leaderboards we put out every week on Instagram, he's topping the charts for the pitchers over and over. So it's going to be impressive, assuming that he's going to be pitching tomorrow with the Texas Tailgaters. That's going to put them in the best opportunity to take down the Bananas tomorrow.
Yep, it's huge that he didn't pitch today, and so we'll see if the Bananas have an answer for him.
Yeah, and then just a couple of comments. We've seen a lot of them. So many broken bats. We definitely saw that last night and tonight. It seems like it's happening more frequently. Gary says, any update on getting the firewood stats for the season? Broken Louisville Sluggers bats. Yeah, no, that's unfortunately it's not an official stat, so we'd have to rewatch all of the games to find that. But yeah, it's fun to watch and see all of that happening. If you guys like and subscribe, then maybe we could quit our jobs so that we can watch and come up with how many broken bats have been during the season, so we have time. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so let us know in the comments if there's any other pieces from tonight that you guys want to talk about. There are a lot of fun moments. We've got a couple teed up right here. But speaking about the stats really quick, I just want to call out, we are working on something in the background to make an Excel spreadsheet that makes it a little bit easier to see some of these stats. Like most importantly is to view some of the matchups. Like how do the Texas Tailgaters fare when they're playing against the Firefighters versus the Bananas, etc., which is not something that's available on bananaball.com/stats today. As it's continuing to grow. So if you guys go in the description below, there's a link where you can put in your name and email address. And then when this is completed, the vision is we would send this out on a weekly basis when the new stats come in. And then you would have an updated access to all of the data there to kind of see. We post the top 5 players who are hitting home runs, but you can see all of the players and kind of view the stats in a better way. So if you guys want to go into the link in the description, then you can sign up for our newsletter and we'll do some other fun stuff for you guys with that in the future. So just trying to build that out going forward.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Again, Brandon knows all that stuff. All the stuff goes over my head. So he's doing all the stats stuff.
Yeah, so we're super excited about that. Okay, let's jump into some of those top moments from the Texas Tailgaters Firefighters game tonight. So I want to bring up some of the trick play parts. So let's pull up. This one was funny, just kind of seeing the differences between some of the players and their philosophies on trick plays. We saw a couple hilarious moments where some of the players, some of them were going for double trick plays. Some were just trying to try to get the one trick play out. And so we have one in particular that we wanted to show here as this first one. I think this actually might be the one. Yep. Okay. So let me share the screen here for you guys. And we'll watch this play that happened. So the Christian Davis is on the mound, and again, he's going to be inducing a trick play here. So the ball's hit, and Zach Watson goes to tip it up. Sunshine Looters pulls off his hat to try to get the double trick play, and Kyle Martin dives in and grabs it. So it is just one trick play from Zach Watson. The double trick play does not happen. And they were kind of talking on the broadcast of like, what's the better play? Is the better play to get those 2 trick plays, or is the better play to get the sure out with 1 trick play and make sure that you don't give up a run? Because that can be some of the problem. If you give up a run trying to get the equalizer point, you can actually get yourself in a worse position than before. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that difference in strategy there?
I mean, for this situation, it was really just like Kyle Martin realized, okay, I don't think Sunshine's going to get there in time, and so he definitely made the right decision to catch that ball. And it's still 1 trick play, so that's great. But the most important thing in all of these situations is you've gotta secure the out. Like if you don't, if that ball drops, it's obviously not an out. And it's also not a trick play. So it's like you've got to secure it. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure. And so that was really cool to see. And then we've got some other ones like the play you talked about. One of the next plays was that incredible double trick play by Sunshine. And so let's pull that up.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Okay. So this was one of the best trick plays we've seen so far this year. So ball's hit to Sunshine Looters. He dives to stop it, goes between the legs over to Taylor Justice. And look at how high Taylor has to jump to catch this ball. Barely catches it, gets back on the bag in time for the out double trick play. And that really helped them in the equalizer point. They ended up winning the equalizer point by 1 trick play. So that double trick play, all of those mattered in this game. And so that was really impressive. You kind of see the diving snag there by Sunshine Looters, and then obviously goes for the trick play, Taylor Justice, double trick play. So that was really impressive to see.
Yeah, absolutely crucial to have that double trick play when you only win it by 1. And that was crazy. The fact that Justice got his foot on the bag there was, he had to jump up to get it between his legs, and so for him to get it down just in time, that was crazy.
Yeah, like no, you're totally right. And like watch the footwork, like being able to like he's looking down to make sure when he lands, he has to catch the ball, then he has to look down at the plate at the base, make sure he lands on it, because if they both do the double trick play and he misses the bag, it doesn't matter. They don't get any of it. So yeah, a really impressive play by both of them. And so good job, Kaz. Kaz thinks that it was a great trick play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that trick play was awesome. And that just kind of epitomized tonight. There were so many trick plays, and it was really exciting to see.
Yeah, a lot more trick plays than last night, that's for sure. And the battle was really entertaining because the Firefighters would just come back out and rattle off a bunch too, to like Tailgaters take the lead, and the Firefighters would rattle off some trick plays to take the lead, and it was just going back and forth, and that was fun.
Yeah, for sure. And so yeah, we can pull up some more of those if we need to tonight to kind of break it down. But yeah, I think you got a comment there that we want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to go back to talking about tomorrow,
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, so some people in the chat were talking about who they're rooting for tomorrow, and I just want to throw this up because this was the point that I was making last night. So Rin1224 says bananas painfully, so rooting for bananas. I appreciate the point being made last night about burning a spot since we know they're making it to the playoffs anyway. So yes, this is my point. We're adding the Firefighters to the list of fan bases now. If you are a fan of the Coconuts, Party Animals, Clowns, or Firefighters, you should be rooting for the Bananas tomorrow. I know how crazy it sounds. I know that it is it is outside of everything that you stand for, but you have to root for the Bananas tomorrow if you want your team to be in a better position, because I mean, I think the Tailgaters are going to be in that top 4. They're playing amazing right now. The odds are they're going to be in that top 4 no matter what. But the Bananas definitely are with their record of 10-1. And so if you want your team to make the playoffs, then you want the Bananas, who are almost guaranteed to make the playoffs already at this point with how they're playing, to win so that a spot isn't taken. Because if somehow the Tailgaters win, and theoretically this could be the Bananas too, it's a long season, but if the Tailgaters win and they end up 5th place, then they will steal the spot from whoever is fourth. And so if you and the Tailgaters, Firefighters, Clowns, Coconuts, and Party Animals are all super close together. They're only separated by 2 games. And with the Bananas up there by leading by 4 to 6 games, depending on the team. So if you want your team to make it, you want to root for the Bananas so that a team like the Tailgaters doesn't steal a spot from your team.
Or if you're just a Bananas fan, you can root for the Bananas.
Do those exist?
They do. There are some Bananas
just
fans.
Just kidding. Yes, I know. There's so many Bananas fans. It's great. I just want to clear, if you are a Bananas fan, you're 100% welcome here. We love everyone.
You are definitely welcome here. The Bananas are going to show out tomorrow, but it's also
Brandon is a Bananas fan.
I'm a Bananas fan.
If you're new here,
yes.
Brandon, he's wearing Tailgater stuff, but he's a Bananas fan.
Bananas are my primary team, but the Tailgaters are very close on that list, especially after we went to that game just a little bit ago and being able to interact with so many of those players. Like, I'm going to have a hard time tomorrow because I'm excited for both teams and seeing who can win. So it's kind of
You're going to have a hard time.
I'm
going to have a hard time tomorrow while I'm rooting for the Bananas so that the Party Animals can still make the playoffs. And just, yeah, that's going to be hard.
Oh, how the tables have turned. When the tour championship last year, the Bananas were eliminated, and I had to help the Party Animals win the championship.
That was crazy.
Yeah. So we have a funny comment here. Maddie Matt said, or that's the wrong comment. Maddie Matt said, me hoping the Bananas win when the word banana is banned in my house is wild work. It's happening.
Yep. I think, we're trying to educate everyone to root for the Bananas.
Tweety says, I'm just here to be a banana thorn in Sammy's side. See, they do exist.
I know.
But yeah, no, it's an exciting time. And that's, I think, one of my favorite things about this is like the ability for me to be a Bananas fan, but also so excited for banana ball in general. And like being able to be excited for all these different teams and like kind of, like Sammy and I both have kind of a primary team that we're rooting for. They're the big ones that were started when we were becoming fans of banana ball. But like these other teams are so good, and it's just kind of exciting to see banana ball grow and like genuine excitement. Where like there's a clip on Instagram when Jake Skoll hit that walk-off, and like I was celebrating the walk-off of Jake Skoll. Like it's banana ball as a whole is what we're rooting for here. And it's just really exciting to see, but it is very fun to see Sammy rooting for the Bananas.
I love 5 teams.
Wow, really digging it in there.
There's so many Bananas players that I love all the banana ball players. So I say this all in good fun.
This is awesome. Okay, so we do have a comment here that we want to get to. For anyone who is new to our podcast, if you found us through the Banana Ball Open, welcome. We appreciate you guys being here. We do a weekly Banana Ball podcast breaking down everything. But Pamela asks, I want to know, why did you start the Banana Breakdown? So this was, we have our video recapping the 2025 season, and that kind of goes in depth. But the short version is, I discovered Banana Ball and saw that they were doing backflips and all the things. And then right when Jesse announced that they were doing a league. So I knew it was going to be a competitive game, but they were also doing these shenanigans. I was like, this doesn't make sense. How can you pull this off? And so I dove down the rabbit hole. Sammy's my brother-in-law, so I was talking his ear off about the Bananas. He looked into it. We decided to go to a game together, and we had talked about the idea of starting a podcast for something. And then after we went to the game, Sammy said, are we doing this? And we decided to give it a go, and the rest is history.
Yeah, because apparently anyone can just buy podcast equipment. So yeah, that's our our authority, is just that we just decided to do it, and so it's been a lot of fun. We just talk about it. We love sports. We love talking about this stuff. No one had started anything like it yet, and so we're like, why not us? So, and it's been fun. The biggest thing that I love about doing this is the community that we've been able to create. we talk here, and it's fun to just see like the chat is going and people are talking to each other in the chat. Maybe sometimes even ignoring what we're saying if we're rambling on for too long, and that's okay because you guys are talking, and that's something that I'm really proud of that we've created, is a chance for you guys to have some community there and for us to be a part of it as well. You know, the Banana Ball community is so awesome, and that's what's so fun about the games on YouTube is the chat is really exciting, really fun, and to participate in that. And so for us to, you know, kind of add another place to do that has been cool.
Yeah, and so we've been doing this since the start of the 2025 season, right after they announced that it was going to be an official league. Last year was not an official league. This year is the first year with that, but we did the podcast weekly from the start of the season
Party
to the
Animals
end.
Championship still counts.
And the Party Animals won the first ever tour championship. But yeah, we appreciate everyone who is here for the first time and also those who've been here from the start. Joel, here from the start, thank you so much. Boston fan, been here from the very beginning. Yeah, you two and a bunch of others. We appreciate seeing you guys continually in the chat and reminding us of all of your support this whole time. Katie says, glad you started. I got into Banana Ball around the same time you started the podcast, and I appreciate the analysis, interviews, and explanations. Thank you. That's really exciting to see. It's weird to hear people that like Banana Ball's been around for like 6 years at this point, and the banana's even further than that. And so it's kind of exciting to hear people who are coming into it and kind of have seen our analysis throughout the whole time.
Yeah, that's been weird, but awesome. You know, like some people don't remember Banana Ball without us talking, and that's kind of crazy to me. And so that's really cool. We just really appreciate all the support that you guys have shown, because we couldn't keep doing this if you guys weren't watching. So, you know, like and subscribe and all that stuff. Yeah, we're not done yet, but yeah.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that, and we appreciate the comments and the questions that kind of lead us along to where we need to talk about, because the podcast is here for you guys. So if there's anything that we need to talk about, you guys let us know, and we'll keep going.
We also have an email if you guys want to send questions to the email, bananabreakdownpodcast@gmail.com. We've gotten a few questions. We went over one question that we got in a live stream, but if you guys ever, and we also got some really nice emails too, just some kind words after our kids were born. He had a kid, I had a kid, and so you guys are really awesome. Really appreciate it. But I wasn't asking for nice things just now. I realized that's what it kind of sounded like. It's like, yeah, if you want to send a nice thing, here's our email. I meant questions, but you know, the nice things are also appreciated.
Yeah. Pandering for compliments.
Please just compliment us. That's all I live for. It's just compliments.
I think we should talk a little bit more about the Banana Ball Open as a whole, and just talk about why this game tonight meant so much. So it's really interesting because you go to the closest thing to Banana Ball is Major League Baseball, and in their like postseason stuff, it's best of 7. So the team has to win 4 games out of a 7-game series to move on. And these are just literally like one game. The Firefighters played well, just barely got outpaced by the Tailgaters, and they're out of the tournament. Obviously, they still have the rest of the season, but for the Banana Ball Open, one game and you're gone. And so it's just super cool to see, and I really like that, where it gets really intense to be able to watch those games knowing that the outcome matters so much. It's like an automatic game 7 in those instances.
Yeah, you take away the first few games, and it's just that final elimination game. I mean, that's why people love the NCAA basketball tournament so much, is because it's a 64-team bracket with just one game decides it. And so that's what's so fun about playoffs, is just one game. And I do appreciate that the championship is going to be a series. We don't know for sure what the playoffs are going to look like in October, but last year the playoffs was a series for the for the semifinal. So it's the 1 seed plays the 4 seed in a 2-game series, like we're going to see in the Banana Ball Championship game, being 2 seed played 3 seed in 2-game series. And then the championship was just a one-off. The Banana Ball Open is flipped, and I prefer it that way personally. And I wonder what they're going to do for the championship. I know that you've said that you think that it's going to be the way it was last year because it's the Banana Bowl. Is that what
They're calling it the Banana Bowl now,
Yeah.
but it's more of the calendar is already showing to mimic last year's calendar. So they have 4 games the beginning of October in a weekend, Thursday to Sunday, and then the next weekend is a one game
so
on a
yeah,
Saturday.
it's going to be the same thing.
It's going to be 1 versus 4 play 2 games, 2 versus 3 play 2 games, and then
there's pros and cons to both ways. Like I personally like the series being the championship because it's like just more definitive winner, I think, if you play 2 games. And then you could also end in a crazy showdown, so that would be awesome for a championship. But it's also really cool for just a one-off game, like winner wins the championship. That's also super exciting. So it just depends on your preference. But if they do it this way, where the Banana Ball Open is one way and then the playoffs are flipped, that's fun because you get both in the season.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff there. I think we should get to some comments here. Just a lot of people showing their support for Banana Ball in general for the podcast, talking about when they got here. They said, "I freaking love Banana Ball."
Same.
Welcome. We love Banana Ball here. And then JM Powers, who comments a lot, appreciate your support, says, "I think I started watching in 2023. The Yankees weren't doing great, and I wanted to watch baseball, so I knew about Banana Ball. I watched a little bit of it on the ESPN app." So that's pretty cool, and kind of shows where the different places the games are. Kind of helps.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, if the Banana Ball hadn't gone to ESPN, maybe there's now I'm stumbling on my words. We're seeing that there's some fans that picked it up from watching on ESPN, and I'm sure there's some people that were just watching True TV for some reason and found Banana Ball. So it's cool that they have those dual showings of on YouTube and on those other platforms.
Yeah, and I actually found out about Banana Ball through Backyard Baseball. They were like doing the backyard version of some like MLB players, and then they did one of Ryan Cox and I think maybe Jackson Olsen. And so I was like, oh, this is like, I guess this is some like team like the Globe, like some like weird minor league team, something. And then like somebody else said something, and then I looked it up, and it was like those couple moments brought me to look up the Bananas. So.
I want the record to show that I actually knew about the Bananas before Brandon. Just saying. I actually followed their Twitter account before Brandon told me about them. Just want to throw that out there.
Definitely true. And then we got Pamela says, "I was not a fan of baseball, but with Banana Ball, it's my favorite." What Banana Ball did for me is it taught me that it like rekindled my childhood love of baseball. I realized like I grew up playing T-ball, playing Little League, and then it kind of stopped being fun. And so I stopped playing. I watched some growing up, but I mostly liked watching the top 10 on SportsCenter. I didn't really like to watch the full games. I enjoyed playing backyard baseball and the Mario baseball. Like baseball video games were some of my favorite video games of all time.
MVP Baseball 2005, the greatest video game ever created.
Yeah, such a great one. So like it reminded me of how much I truly loved baseball, and kind of this is like to me like the truest incarnation of a childhood pure love of the sport, because it's just rekindles that fun and enjoyment of the sport. And so I really like that.
Yes, I never made it past T-ball. It's true. Do I tell the story?
I would say just lean people towards the first episode, the first ever episode of the Banana Breakdown podcast.
If you watch the first ever episode of the Banana Breakdown podcast, go watch it. I tell a absolutely crazy T-ball story. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that, definitely go check it out. So we actually didn't start doing live streams, so that's actually going to be in the video tab on YouTube, not in the live streams. But we've been doing live streams this whole season so far, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think live streams are more fun.
Yeah,
because I don't have to edit anything anymore.
Yeah, and it's more fun to have your guys' quick responses there to like be able to answer to right away. But yeah. Any other topics that you guys, as the fans, have that you want us to cover for today to make sure that we talk about tonight, or did you have anything else?
Well, I
Sammy?
actually do have some.
Yeah.
We somehow haven't really talked about the 9th inning of this game.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Which was crazy. So I want to start with Logan Lacey's at bat. This was an example of a banana ball specific rule really impacting the game here. There it is. So Logan Lacey is down 1-2, and the ball, Miller throws, the ball gets past Porter, and Logan Lacey is able to steal first, which is something that obviously is not something that you can do in baseball, but you can do in banana ball. If the ball gets past the catcher, you can actually steal first. And it is still a force out at first. And so if Taj Porter would have been able to get it and throw to first, it would have been out, but he wasn't able to. And so this is why it's so important to have a great it's so important as a catcher. You've got to focus constantly. And this was a bad pitch by Miller. This isn't on Taj Porter at all, but I'm just saying, like, as a catcher, you're focusing constantly to make sure you cannot have a passed ball at all, ever. Like, obviously you never want it, but like, if there's no one on in baseball, it doesn't actually matter if there's a wild pitch because no one can move. It doesn't, like, it's just a ball. You just get a ball and you keep playing. But in banana ball, if there's a passed ball, you can steal first. And so this was crazy because it felt like this at-bat, Miller was winning the at-bat, and Lacey was just kept fouling it off. And then this wild pitch happens, and he is smart enough, knows the rules well enough to know that I'm going and I'm getting on base. And now you have a runner on base with no outs, and it's a completely different feel of the 9th inning. It felt like Miller was just going to put it away, and because he was able to get to first, it just changed it completely.
Yeah, and I think definitely, like, when you see right here, you just see like the disgust in Reese Miller's face of just the disappointment. Like you were saying, he was ahead in the count. It was a really good opportunity for him. And then you get that moment where he steals first base. He knew exactly what was going to happen as soon as Logan Lacey started running. And it just kind of, like you said, makes the Firefighters, okay, we've got a chance. We got that spark. We got that momentum. Like, let's see what we can do. And they were able to rally a little bit, but unfortunately weren't able to pull it off in the end.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, Eric Jones Jr. comes up and he ends up getting out, but he's your tying run is now at the plate, and it's a completely different ball game. And but Miller responded really well, and he was put into a he was in a tough spot there at the end, but he was able to get a epic strikeout to win the game. And he's a great closer. There's just so many great closers in banana ball, and he's no exception. And he was able to, I mean, this is not the example of him doing that. He got a ball four sprint, but he was able to get out of the jam that he was in and end up winning the game. Okay, because then Lamar Sparks comes out and he gets the RBI single with the broken bat, which was crazy, and it looked like the Firefighters were going to tie it or win.
Yeah, so you get to strike out of Caden Green there, second out, runners on. And Sammy pointed this out. I was kind of like, okay, like, we'll just go to showdowns if the Firefighters score a couple runs. But at this point, if they hit a home run here, score all 3 runs, the Firefighters immediately win the game. So this is where it gets to be super tense, because one slip up for the Tailgaters, and the Firefighters are now moving on to the banana ball open. So let's get to that hit from Lamar Sparks.
Here it is, broken bat, but it's able to drop right over Looters, and they are within 1. Man, if
only he kept running, you most likely would have been out.
He was going to be out. There's 2 outs. He wasn't going to risk it but it was so close. So close to a tie game, and then a strikeout is what happens the next at bat here.
Yeah, so pressure on, and then Reese Miller steps up 0-2 count. So he's ahead 0-2 at that point. 2 strikes,
Boom.
pulls off strike 3, sets him up. And he had those 2 strikeouts just in that limited time he was on the mound. So Reese Miller pulling it off, bringing the Texas Tailgaters to the Banana Ball Open Championship tomorrow and Sunday.
Yep, there you go. Can't believe we had a breakdown of the game that we failed to talk about the ending of the game until 45 minutes into this live stream. But there you go. It was an awesome game. We were all over the place tonight, but I'm excited for the championship tomorrow and Sunday.
Yeah, it's super exciting to see. And then Renee asks, is Logan Lacey's second full season? Yes, so he was on the Firefighters in their inaugural year in 2024. They played something like 15 games. And then last year, Tailgaters and Firefighters played a half season in comparison to Bananas Party Animals, 30, 33 games, something like that. So that was their full season kind of. And then this one is his first season with a 60-game season. But he's been with the Firefighters technically for 3 seasons now, if you count all of those.
Yep.
I do want to call out something that was kind of hilarious with Brett Loftus. Whenever he says book it on the trick plays, Boston Fan says that there was a lot of book it's today. Banana Ball's
52.
official channel, they started commenting a bucket emoji whenever he would say book it. And I just thought that was kind of hilarious that they would pull that off. Renee, yes, he was a visitor before the Firefighters as well. Logan Lacey. But yeah, super exciting. I'm super excited for the future of the Banana Ball. The Banana Ball Open's been fantastic so far. It's really exciting to have it at the beginning of the season. I do want to talk about, someone had mentioned in the comments that it felt weird that the party animals are not a part of the Open. And I would say I agree with that. They are such a core part of Banana Ball that it does feel like something's missing. But that's so good for the growth of the sport that it's like, hey, you've got to compete in the first 11 games, and there are teams that performed better than the party animals, which tells you so much for how competitive it is right now because the party animals are so good. But yeah, it's been hard to not have them there, but at least for the live crowd in Grayson, they've been in their jerseys, interact with fans, which I absolutely love to see.
Yeah, and to go along with that, I mean, the fact that the Bananas weren't in the championship game last year was also really good for the sport and to grow the other brands. And eventually, I mean, we probably will never get there. The Bananas and the party animals will probably still be the most popular ones, but you know, in a few years, all 6 teams are going to grow out and build out their fan bases, and it's going to be a lot more evenly distributed, I think. And so it's really important that those other brands are growing.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be exciting because you start to have, like they talk about, like these core areas where the teams are showing up. So like Texas is the most obvious one. The headliner games for the Texas Tailgaters, every single one of those 30 games is in Texas, except for a 2-game series that's in like Oklahoma or one of the other states that's like near Texas. So they're building that fan base there. But then you've also got teams like the Firefighters and Tailgaters were here in Arizona for us. So like if they show up again next year, like it just starts to build that where there are kids that know those teams more than they know the Bananas. And so it's like as time goes on and as this expands throughout the United States with these 60-game seasons for these teams, it's really going to grow those other fan bases just like the party animals have, because the party animals had that for the past couple of years as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, this is a great question. We've seen this a couple times in the chat. Joel asks, do you think they will add more teams next year or concentrate on building the league? Sammy, what do you think?
Well, I think the talent is available. I think the demand for players is there. I think there's a lot of people that are preparing to play in the Banana Ball League that if you wanted to expand, you probably could, and you could have some competitive teams come in if you wanted to go to 8. I don't want them to do it too quickly though. I want this to be the case for a few years. Eventually, it would be awesome if you get to 8. I don't know if I'd want it more than 8 personally. But yeah, eventually I think it might expand, but I don't think they should do it yet. I think that they need to go a few years with this, let the Banana Ball Championship League kind of you know, just settle in, I guess, and then see what happens. Oh, stabilize there. That's a good word, Gary. Yeah, stabilize first, then expand. There you go.
Yeah, I think that that's a good strategy, because one of the concerns, if you do expand, and so we know that there's going to be a draft this year because they've put it out there. There's a prospective players form that's out there, and players are signing up to do a tryout to get on the visitors. And it says there that players from the visitors team, some of them will be joined into the draft at the end of the season. So there's not been an official announcement, but from that Banana Ball prospective players form, we know that there's going to be a draft. So with that knowledge, then there's two options. You either potentially expand, or you then have some of the players in the current pool get put back into that pool with some of the new players and kind of see
franchise coach franchise every single year. I mean, you could, and just kind of, I don't know. I actually do not want that, because then there's too much movement. You want players to stay on teams for long, and you're going to have that core group that gets franchised, but you can't do the big upheaval that happened this past year every single year. That's not going to work.
I think if they do that, if it's similar to last year, I would guess that you need to up it from 11 players staying to a higher number. Because like, to Sammy's point, you had last year 11 players stayed and 14 went into the draft pool. So it was a lot of people. More than half of the team went into the draft pool. Some came back through the draft, but so I think they may be able to find a middle ground there where they have maybe a higher number of players are franchised, and that causes less change, and you can kind of build those core groups a little bit more. But we'll have to see, because here's my final caveat with this. There were a lot of people that said they didn't want to draft when it was first announced. And then we're also hearing from those people that they are happy with how it turned out. So like, it's interesting to see. Jesse Cole and the team, they've got a good handle on things behind the scenes. They're going to keep on trying things. Some of the things are going to fail, and then they're going to tweak it from there. So we'll see. But we did have a couple comments. JM Power says no expansion for another 5 or 6 years. That might be a little too long, but we'll see. That would really help stabilize the teams, but might be a little bit too long.
Eventually, demand's going to get too high. I mean, I think Banana Ball is going to just keep growing, and eventually, like, not just demand as in players coming in, because I think that is huge. There's going to be a lot of players that want to play, so you're going to have to expand with the teams, but also more importantly, the demand for fans. If you want to reach more people, you kind of have to have more teams, because then you have more games. And so that's also part of it.
Yeah, because that's an interesting point with this that we have to talk about is Major League Baseball and other baseball leagues, they play 162 game seasons. Banana Ball's at 60 games. It is much, much fewer games. And it sounds like from interviews with Jesse Cole that that's where they want to keep it. They don't want to have the games be much higher because of how strenuous it is on the players, because they are coming and they are doing the practice super early in the morning, and then they're going and they're interacting with fans for like 7 or 8 hours. Like, it's crazy how much they do. And then the games are more strenuous because they're running back and forth the whole time, doing all of the crazy things. So it's really nice that they're able to do that, but that does put a cap on how many fans you can reach unless you grow to more teams.
Can you imagine having having to do that 162 times in a season?
That would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be really crazy. Yeah, I think eventually you're going to have to expand. It's just inevitable, but I don't think it's going to happen yet.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll get more information, and the best part is that we will break it down as soon as we get official information for you guys here on our weekly podcast. So we're here to do all of that for you guys. Let's see. So, and then Gary says the issue is that we have to be careful not to stretch Jesse and the company too thin. Yeah, that's a real concern when you've got in 2024, you had one broadcast a night. Then 2025, you have 2 broadcasts on the same night. And now this year, they're having 3 broadcasts simultaneously, 3 groups of teams and the back end people all around. And so they've been doing a great job, but you got to make sure that like you're keeping the culture and the core, which they're doing a great job of keeping that intact for everyone.
Yeah.
And Korea Soul says, we need a ticket takeover episode with staff to discuss all the nuances of K-Club, lottery, marketplace, seat assignments, and access to the games is unbalanced, in my opinion. Yeah, that would be great. We could either do one with just us and breaking down what we know about it, or we would love to get some staff or someone in the know to kind of talk about some of that and kind of break that down. Because there's 4.2 million people on the wait list, so there's a lot of people that want tickets. Like we tried
That's
to.
what I'm talking about with demand. It's the most obvious one. It's like you got to expand if that many people are gonna get to games.
And it's also like there are people in Major League Baseball who buy season tickets for their team and they go to so many games. I don't know how many home games it is, but it might be somewhere around 80 home games that they go to every single one of. We're lucky if two of the teams show up to our city one time in the year. Like you could even increase the demand just by going to some of those cities 3 or 4 times a year, and your fans can then see them throughout the year. So there's a couple different ways there, and the demand is definitely far outpacing the supply right now. But yeah, Jesse has definitely mentioned that he wants to keep it. He wants to make sure that it's slow enough that they can make sure that they keep everything intact.
Yep.
Okay. Right. Tweety says a staffer interview would be cool. Cool. We will do our best to get someone from Banana Ball who can answer some of those questions. So if there's someone listening who is that person, definitely reach out to us. We'd be happy to have you on.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, I'm tired, and I think we should get some rest so that we can watch a championship first game of the Banana Ball Open Championship tomorrow. We will be going live right after to talk about it and give our predictions for the next game and talking about what does the losing team have to change in order to win the next game, all that stuff. We'll analyze it all, talk about it, and then we will not be going live on Sunday after the championship, but we will be going live at 8:30 Eastern time, 5:30 our time, on Monday to break down the championship.
Yep. So we will join you guys back here for a post-game live stream tomorrow, and then we'll go from there.
I don't know what hat I'm going to wear. I don't have a Bananas hat or a Tailgaters hat.
Probably just the banana breakdown, I guess.
Yeah, I'll wear my party animals hat.
You're having a little banana breakdown that the party animals aren't in there.
I'm going to wear my party animals hat.
As you should. Well, thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate all of your support, and thank you so much for being here until the end of the live stream today. Your support means a lot to us, so we appreciate it. But until then, go Bananas and Tailgaters. Animals.